can we ask you off the top about the Jack Viney case and the bump?
It's topical. Basil Zeplis on Channel 7 asked on Tuesday night. My position really simple. It's not even my position. The observation is that the tribunal held the line that's been held for a long time. If you've got an alternative, I think the debate is, was it viable? But if you've got an alternative, and clearly it was deemed that it had an alternative, if you bump, you're responsible. So I'm not saying the rule's right or wrong. I'm saying what it is. So it's pretty simple from my end.
There appears to be a feeling amongst the player group that they're being held to too high a standard of accountability on this now. Do you?
Well, they're entitled to their opinion. I don't need to support it or try and break it down. It doesn't really. I just think the rule's the rule. It's been interpreted that way, and while the rule's like that you're going to get the same outcome. So it's pretty simple here, you know. So I mean, there may be times if you are open, you're going to have to take evasive action, really, aren't you, as opposed to turn. But I mean, you know, you've got to look at the opportunity cost on the other side of the equation of injury and head injuries and exposure to AFL and overseas precedents being set. So you can see the genesis of the rule change and the trends and identification of head injuries and safety in the game. So I think we're all across that. I think there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of grandstanding. At the end of the day, you know, it is what it is, and there's an appeal process in place which is really critical for for sport justice to be seen to be had, really, and you know, so let it go through the appeal process and see what comes. But again, if I just boil it down, they've held their line on the rule. We all understand the reasons why. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And, if you've got a viable alternative and if it's interpreted that you have and you bump, you're going to be in trouble. So,
do you tell your players now, don't bump under any circumstances?
I don't talk to them about it. Yeah, really, they know. Yeah, so all I ever say to them, if the ball's your object, I haven't seen anyone suspended yet. If the ball's your object.
Ross, do you get though the situation where it's almost a protective thing, like you're in the contest but to tackle your head, there's that self-preservation thing which comes into play as well?
Well, that's interpretation. That's what I said. At some point you might have to take evasive action if you feel that vulnerable. So clearly if you feel that vulnerable, on currently where it sits, you're going to need to take evasive action and maybe step out the way. So,
Ross, does Zach Dawson get on the flight today?
Well, he spoke to me downstairs. He's still sort of working through recovery. He's saying I still want to have a go. So we'll give him every possible chance, and we'll see what that looks like.
Does he have to train today?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to train today. It's a bit like Michael Johnson or Luke. They're pretty important to us, so we'll do a fair bit behind closed doors and then make a final decision. Yeah, but look, whether he does or he doesn't, you've got to be able to next man in, and we've clearly got Alex Silvani coming into the team already. Chris Main can go down and play back, and so we could use Mainey to free up Michael Johnson, or Michael Johnson plays tall. So yeah, we've got plenty. We're not a one-man band, I wouldn't have thought, you know. We're optimistic, whether he does or he doesn't, that we'll be able to put our best foot forward on the weekend.
And Morabito was close last week, he said, for maybe a sub, and then he was crook, he didn't play. Does that hold him back this week? Or
clearly it does, you know. You can't, when you miss as much foot as Anthony, and there was no guarantee he was going to be in, so he just needs to get down to Peel, or we're playing Joondalup, you know, get up to there and you know, start building his form again and try and create an opportunity. So, yeah, when it is, I don't know, but it's sort of happening.
Is that frustrating? How's his mental state? Because obviously he was on the verge.
Look, you know, if you speak for Anthony, his aim was to play footy with his mates again. So, if you look at the goal he set, after what had happened to him, he's achieving that. So, I don't think he's reset it too far from there. You know, I think there'll be some. But I think he's wrapped his playing footy again. He loves the game, he loves playing footy. It's what he's very good at, and he's just enjoying the moment. So, again, everyone else will play expectations on Anthony, and we understand why, but that doesn't mean they're the right ones for him at this time.
Ross, round 22 last year, Fremantle took on Port, put together a very smart performance. Have Port changed much since last season?
No, they're very good. They just matured a bit more. recruited well. Polak's given them a real lift, and White, real speed and skill, both of them. They've grown in confidence. What they got is a very good system, very good work ethic, and if you don't bring your work ethic and you don't understand their system of play, you can get hurt pretty quickly.
Do you think their style is similar to Fremant's?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to draw parallels. I think structurally there's a lot. Clearly they're using the ball better at the minute, and using their outnumber better than we have. But we've worked pretty hard on that in recent times. So, we still think we're building. We think we've been in a lot of high intensity games this year. If you really go through and have a really good look at it. So we're building our resilience to high level competition, building our resilience to travelling constantly, and we think we've got plenty of improvement in us.
In terms of Port Adelaide's forward line, we talk about the challenge of trying to curb them.
Well, they've got a wide range of goal kickers, really. They run and use the ball and spread really hard and take best options. So we know Schultz is a good goal kicker. What's he kick 13 or something? I'm not too sure. Schultz, Westhoff, Wingard, Montfries, Gray, with the Boak rolling through there, Ebert rolling through there. So little Olympic can play. So they've got a lot. It's not about one player. They've got a spread. They understand it's about a spread.
So given that you have at least one new defender in there and possibly two, how hard is that to kind of become cohesive?
Well, it's a challenge, but it's nothing we haven't done before. I mean, Alex Silvani played in the final against Geelong on the biggest stage in Melbourne and stood up. So it's, as always, we'll defend if the pressure's right up the field.
How did Chris Mayne respond to being thrown back, and do you think maybe that might be the turning point for his footy?
Yeah, I haven't been as concerned as everyone else. I thought, a week before he was pretty good. I thought he was really good until he even got moved. So I think there's a lot of jungle drums beating needlessly, really, on Chris Mayne's form. He had a significant injury, and you just don't come and turn on like a tap. So my view is he's in pretty good nick. To me, it was evident that he played well down there. He certainly learnt why it's important to put forward pressure on, because it's a lonely spot down there if you don't. So, look, it's great for us that we now understand he can do both roles. So.